Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's Wednesday, midweek. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly. We are back. We have a fantastic wrestling show for you tonight. Good blend and a good mix of stuff to go through. Let me know how you're doing this week. Is everything good? Everything happy with you? What have you made about wrestling in the last week or so? We're going to have an update on the Mania card. We're definitely going to be getting your thoughts on that. We're going to be getting your thoughts on the Prime Energy drink sponsorship. We're going to be talking about Undertaker and a couple of bits to talk about him, as always. And what else have we got in there? We're going to be talking about SummerSlam. We're going to be talking about the Intercontinental Championship and how we feel about that. We're going to be comparing Roman Reigns, his reign, compared to other reigns. Get your thoughts on that. We're going to take a quick look back at Hogan talking about Randy Orton. We'll get your thoughts on that too. And we're also going to be talking with the Hall of Fame, another announcement today. But if you could, folks, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video as well. All that good stuff. You don't need me to be telling you at this stage what needs to be done. I want to thank everyone so much for the reaction to last week's review of Dark Side of the Ring, John Tenta Earthquake, up around 1,500 views nearly at this stage. Thank you so much, anyone who viewed it. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a short video. It was kind of ad lib. It was 6 minutes. I shot it in the shop. So pretty cool, and great to see those kind of views can be reached when you hit the right note on certain things. And I got some great positive feedback on it as well, on some of the stuff we spoke about. So tomorrow, we're going to be dropping Dark Side of the Ring, Season 5, Episode 2, Buff Bagwell. Don't know whether you've seen it yet or not, so if you haven't, certainly don't tune into that show. It'll be probably dropping before lunchtime. Again, it'll be recorded. Probably do it here in the house because I'm off tomorrow. We're closed. I've got a few things to attend to. But before we get into that, let's go over to the OGs, the Rosebuds in the house. And that's where we were going last week, weren't we, with Adam Rose? Bonkers is in. Big up Bonkers. How are you, my friend? Bailey and Naomi are in Boston tonight to support Mercedes Mone, who is expected to debut tonight for AEW. Absolutely. And Thunderbolt Patterson in the Hall of Fame 2024. Excellent choice. Do we expect one more inductee? We do. I would expect them. I'd be actually quite disappointed if they don't announce Bray Wyatt now. I've built myself up for Bray Wyatt, especially with the US Express going in. Bray's uncle and his dad. So if they're going to be in the building, why not induct Bray Wyatt if you have them there? And I heard on the grapevine that the Warrior Award is supposed to be going to DDP. So let's see that as well, which ties in nicely with the Buff Bagwell show. But we will talk about that and we won't spoil it too much. That's for sure. Big up Bonkers. Sean's in. Big up Sean. Howdy, Niall. Hope your week is going well. It's going absolutely perfect, as they say. Kurt Henning. UEFA Europa League final, Crow Park fan zone free, 22nd of May. That's going to be awesome. What's the crack, Niall Daz? How are you, my friend? Hope you are good and everything is going good for you. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow night we'll be back. Thursday Tier Talk, myself and Dazzler on your screens, whether it's your laptop, your phone, or your 50-inch on the wall. We will be there bringing you a Premier League and FA Cup kind of preview. We'll be reflecting on the latest news coming out, no doubt, from Man United and various other things going on at the moment, and getting our thoughts together on that. Sean, also PSA clocks have gone back, so all wrestling shows are starting an hour earlier for the next few weeks. For example, Dynamite tonight is at midnight. Thank God. Thank God. Looking forward to it though. Bournemouth nil, we will talk about it. Bournemouth nil, Luton 1. Just for the update in the football. Morris is in, my brother. Ring and turnbuckle sponsors will be a feature, especially with Netflix being involved and Raw being somewhat commercial free. 100%. Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon in the Vince McMahon lawsuit. Yeah, I think there was a bit of clarification on that the other day, wasn't it? But again, it's something we can talk about. I haven't delved into it. I've purposely trying to keep it a little bit upbeat at the moment, if you like, and just trying to avoid the allegation stuff because we had a good few weeks of it there that I think it kind of wore us all down a bit. What's the story? Morris, hello, Daz. Daz, hello, how are you, Morris? Going too far now. Thunderbolt Patterson is WrestleMania Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're going to go to the Hall of Fame now shortly. Looking forward to watching Rock concert on SmackDown. Yeah, I heard it's coming back. Absolutely lethal. I saw a elite list of the Hall of Fame class, and everybody on it is inducted bar one, Bray Wyatt. Okay, Dortmund 1, PSV 0. That's the latest there. Right, folks, let's get in. Let's talk about this Hall of Fame, which obviously, let me know your thoughts on it. We got word today. I had to update the file, and obviously Muhammad Ali going in is exceptional. This is a real good Hall of Fame, isn't it? And Bull Nakano must be delighted to be in this kind of company and stuff like that. So, of course, we had Paul Heyman was the first announcement. Still not sure about the inductee or who's going to induct them. If you have any other thoughts on that, we spoke about it last week. Then we got Bull Nakano. We got the US Express, Barry Windham, of course, and Mike Rotunda, formerly IRS. Muhammad Ali was announced, which is a great announcement. Delighted to see him go in. And, of course, Thunderbolt Patterson, which would really only be kind of known to some of us older fans and stuff like that. But we'll have a little quick rundown on Thunderbolt Patterson. Obviously cut his teeth down in Florida initially and stuff like that. Feuding down there in 1970, was feuding down there with Jose Lothario and picked up the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship. Went to NWA in Florida, did very well in that territory, winning the heavyweight championship from no less Bruiser Brody. This man has been with people. Went into the Georgia territory, because we are talking mainly NWA here, folks. Patterson joined Ole Anderson as his tag team partner in 1984, and they held the NWA Tag Team Championships until Ole's kayfabe nephew came along, the Enforcer, one Arn Anderson. And Ole said that he was tired of carrying guys like Patterson and Dusty Rhodes. You can always rely on Ole Anderson for a proper promo. Real heelish kind of stuff in there, which broke up Patterson. Just a little backtrack there. In the mid-70s as well, Patterson was blacklisted because he was pushing for a wrestlers' union, even back then in the mid-70s. He had voiced concerns both on racism and wrestlers' rights and all that kind of stuff. And the only one who backed him, funny enough, was Dory Funk Sr. So there you go. But when he broke up from Patterson, this is the pivotal moment here, because this is when Ole Anderson got together with Arn Anderson, and this was basically the foundation of the birth of what would become the Four Horsemen. You'd have Ole, Arn, Tully, and Ric Flair. Got inducted into the 2019 Class Hall of Fame, George Tragos Lutez Hall of Fame. An exceptional accolade to receive. Go look at who's in that Hall of Fame. It's a who's who. And it was announced obviously today. He's going to join the 2024 Hall of Fame, including Paul Heyman, Muhammad Ali, Bull Nakano, and the US Express. So hats off to Thunderbolt Patterson there. Certainly deserving enough. Certainly played a big part in the NWA territories in the 70s through into the 80s. Just a little rundown, obviously, for people who may not know. I'm sure when they mentioned he was getting inducted, loads of people scrambled to see the kind of stuff that's involved and stuff like that. But good to see it and all. Who will induct Ali? I believe it's his wife, isn't it? Is it Lonnie or Laurie or something like that? I read it the other day. It's his wife, as far as I know. Brock Lesnar returning at WrestleMania 40 or Raw after Mania. What did you make of this? What's the story with Brock Lesnar? Let me know your thoughts on that. There was huge conversations during the week about him being back on the roster page and stuff like that, and then people were making the point that obviously he never went off the roster page. So is it an indication? I was reading an article today that nothing has changed in terms of that situation. So are we kind of getting excited over nothing? Let me know your thoughts. What else have we got? Hulkamania. There you go. Hogan will induct Ali, surely. He has a great relationship with African Americans. Absolutely, Morris. Barry Windham versus Great Muta, Super Bowl 3, NWA Championship. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say he's locked into a rope-tight contract and can't be released, so it has to be used. There you go. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about, we're going to talk Eno's in as well. Big up Eno, good to see you there, my friend. I have a nice blend of history here for you for later, folks, as well. A couple of really good throwbacks and stuff like that that happened this week. And we've got a serious mix of notable birthdays as well. But a man I want to mention here, one of Morris's favourites, of course, The Undertaker. He was asking about the entrance. Michael Venom Page the other night coming out to Undertaker's entrance, which I thought was pretty cool. And listen, we're getting a lot of crossover here. We've seen obviously on Raw as well that Buddy Murphy and Rhea Ripley were featured on the UFC. They were in attendance at the UFC. They were featured on screen, and it was shown on Raw as well. So not a surprise at all. But the Undertaker was he said congrats on the win, nice entrance and all that kind of stuff. But we heard the Undertaker will be heading to Philadelphia for WrestleMania week. The legend will be hosting his One Dead Man show at the Fillmore on Thursday, April the 4th. Now, Morris, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. For the simple amount of $729, probably doesn't include the booking fee and everything else. You can get the VIP meet and greet for the Undertaker One Dead Man's show. There you go. For that cheap price of $729, probably plus the booking fee, probably going to cost you closer to $800. You can get to do the VIP meet and greet with the Undertaker. There you go. An absolute snip, isn't it, Morris? Absolute snip. Hall of Fame. Great to see Paul Heyman getting inducted. About time. Yeah, absolutely. Apparently he was offered it before, and I read a story. He was offered it before and he turned it down. So it wasn't necessarily WWE that held out. Sean, just to let you know as well, if you're still in the chat there as well, I have a bit of OTT in tonight's history for you. So there you go. And there might be a little bit of ECW in there as well. Who knows? But there you go, folks. Just want to highlight the cost of that. How do we feel about this? Word the other day that Logan Paul, obviously, and Prime Energy Drink have signed a huge deal. The biggest sponsorship deal, apparently, in WWE history. Which is very, very interesting. But the Prime logo is going to be featured front and center of the ring canvas. What is your thoughts on this? How do you feel about it? It's going to be interesting when you see the parallels between the UFC and the WWE and how it's all starting to take shape now with the takeover. It is very, very interesting. What I find with this, though, is when I'm watching the UFC, and let me know your thoughts on it as well, folks. When I'm watching the UFC, I'm more focused on the kind of fighters than everything else around it. Like, obviously you see the sponsorship, but because it's a real fight, you're focused on what the fighters are doing and you're zoned in on that. In WWE, when you're watching wrestling, you're not necessarily as zoned into the two guys as much as you are to the surroundings and what's happening and stuff like that. So kind of the sponsorship, I noticed, it just looks a bit more prevalent. And as Morris said earlier in the chat, with the way the deal is going with Netflix and all that kind of stuff, you know, you're going to get more of this. You know what I mean? You're going to get turnbuckles, you're going to get posts, you're going to get ring aprons, you're going to get each of the corners, you're going to get all this stuff. And because of that sponsorship as well, you might start to see the development of matches being put together to make sure that at certain points in matches, they're featured in certain corners where there is sponsorships and stuff like that. No. So it'll be interesting to see how this all develops. I think it looks ugly. I'm old school when it comes to the canvas and stuff like that. So I think it looks a little bit ugly. The one thing that might happen that might be interesting is when they normally do the signed memorabilia after the big shows, sometimes they put a piece of the canvas in there. We've seen it with some of the plaques and all that come out. Be interesting if you got a piece of the canvas that had a little bit of that Prime bottle on it or something like that. Would that make a difference to people? Let's see, but something like that would be interesting to see. Where are we? Cost of living crisis. Cost of living crisis. Yeah, absolutely. Cost of living crisis. Not for that, man. And the worst thing about it, Aces, is we know this show's going to sell out. They keep on coming back to drink that water. Morris is in. He would want to be offering half an hour with McKill at that price. We've had that conversation before, haven't we, Morris? What do you think of the new Elite? I haven't thought much about it. It's an interesting move, all right, but I haven't thought much about it. What I did think about it the other day, I seen that clip that came out, that fan clip, where Okada's wrestling on one of the shows, and like the arena just looks practically empty all on one side, if you noticed it. And I'm sure he must be looking at that and thinking, I'm used to wrestling in the Tokyo Dome, I'm used to wrestling packed out places where you can't get a seat or a ticket. So I wonder what he was thinking. Now, obviously, the deal that they've been spoken about is massive. They're talking something like 10, 12 million, aren't they? Which is absolutely ginormous. Ginormous. Although I'm sure he wasn't short a few quid in New Japan. LM Gaming's in. How are you? Simple as round the ring. Yeah, interesting. And you know what you're going to get now as well, don't you? You're going to get Mattel jumping on this. So you're going to get them issuing prime ring canvases, for your real scale rings, and it's only a matter of time. You're gonna get that sticker thing and all that kind of stuff coming out. It's gonna get pretty badged up, I would imagine. Mick Foley was ragging a prime logo. Yeah, I'd say he was absolutely old school rules. Morris, ring and turnbuckle sponsors won't make a difference to the action. No problem with it. I don't know. It could get a bit distracting. I wonder, does it get distracting for the wrestlers? I wonder, because the canvas for so long has been the way it is. I wonder now, especially with the high flying guys and the guys doing more of the, the ricochets of this world and stuff like that, the Rey Mysterio and stuff like that. I wonder, can it be a bit distracting for them, because a lot of time when you're in the ring, you're counting, you're timing, all that kind of stuff, and your awareness of where you are in the ring. I wonder, is this a little bit off-putting maybe? Who knows? But I mean, everything evolves, doesn't it? How about Dwayne Johnson after announcing that he's the boss? He is the boss. There's no doubt he's the boss in there now. We've seen it in Dallas already with the camera shots of Austin Spear versus Kevin Owens. Yeah, we did. We did indeed. Eric Bischoff got ridiculous heat on advertisement on canvas and turnbuckles. Yeah, absolutely. Kenny's in. Big up Kenny. Prime is shite, and that logo looks horrible. Yeah, they probably could have done a better job on it, in fairness and stuff like that. What they should have done was they should have brought out a unique WWE branded flavor or something like that. That was like a throwback bottle or something like that. Maybe with some of the old logos on it and stuff like that. Or maybe, some of the old WrestleMania logos or something like that. And then maybe put that on it. So it doesn't just look like someone took a prime bottle and slapped it on it kind of thing, Maybe that's the case. Can you make sure to keep us updated on the book as well, my friend? Let us know what's happening there. It must be really close at this stage. The Acers, Logan Paul having a huge match at SummerSlam, and Alexa Bliss returns. Good to see Alexa back. Certainly being missed. Official energy drink of the Emirates, Kenny. It got us over the line last night. Prime penalty energy drink. Bournemouth 0, Luton 3, approaching halftime. Wow, that's a turn up for the Bucks, isn't it? Dazzler keeping Logan Paul and KSI in business. He certainly is. Loves the Prime, he does. Should get a match at Mania, a triple threat, Prime versus Monster versus Red Bull. Kenny, don't be surprised. It'd be more like a Survivor Series, wouldn't it? You could do a Survivor Series match, Team Prime versus Team Red Bull or something like that. Imagine that. That'd be gas. The Willis is in. Big up, Will. How are you, my friend? What's up, brother? All good? I am. I'm very good. Looking forward to the weekend's game. I am. Tomorrow's kind of a non-event, really, isn't it? Depending on who they play and stuff like that. But certainly fired up for the weekend. Paddy's Day, FA Cup, Old Trafford. Get ready. Reds are coming to town. Don't mind those Devils. So there you go. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that and how the ring stuff and all is developing and stuff like that. What did we make of this the other night? Sami Zayn, I think it was fairly obvious Sami was going to win it. But how are you feeling going into Mania? Gunther versus Sami. And could the match be changed? Could Chad still end up in there? Let me know your thoughts. Me and you up, I heard tomorrow. Me and you up to, I heard tomorrow. Me and you up to, I heard tomorrow. I'm off. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow anyway, so I'm back in Friday. But yeah, it's What have we made of this? What did we make of Sami Zayn? I thought the match was really, really good. But question for you is how are you feeling about this? Is Are you realistically thinking that Sammy takes the belt off him? If you think about the work, spoke at length with Darren about this. Um, Gunther has been unbelievable. The run he's on, the reign, how he's made that belt so important in the company again. Does it now get handed off to Sammy? Is that the way it's going to go? Or does he retain? Or do we get a triple threat or something like that? There's a lot of gimmicky stuff coming up on this Mania as well. We need to be careful. It needs to be handled right. But how are you feeling about this match? Who did you want in there if you didn't want Sammy in there? And do you see Sammy having enough to take the belt off Gunther? I'm not too sure. I think I'd feel quite deflated if Gunther was to drop the belt to Sammy at Mania. But let me know your thoughts. Up top, yeah, absolutely up top. That's it. Great gauntlet match from Sean. Acer's delighted that Chad Gable turns heel. Kenny, I'm not overly excited about Sammy versus Gunther, but I definitely see it changing somehow. That'd be a killer, wouldn't it? Morris is in. Hate the triple threats too, Niall. Yeah, that just I don't like them at all. You know what I mean? But I think I'd have to. I think I'd stomach this one if I had to, because I'm not excited about what's top right. I'd be more excited about what's bottom left. Want to chat, but I think Sammy and Gunther is still a great match. I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't see it. I don't see it. The problem that you're going to have with this as well is, let's suppose it does change hands and go to Sammy. Then what happens? This is now, Gunther will probably head off up into the World Heavyweight or the WWE Championship kind of situation. He'll be in and around either one of those. So what happens then if the belt goes back? If the belt's with Sammy, do we go back again? Does all that good work from Gunther and all get unraveled? Then what happens? And then does the belt get devalued slightly? And then does it not become the gatekeeper belt like it is now? Let me know your thoughts. Daz at Morris, who do you want next round of the Champions League? They don't mind Daz. They'll take Inter Milan. They'll take Real Madrid, Bayern. Chest is out at the moment. They want anyone. Hunter has to bring that to Berlin unless they want to give him a big title shot there. That could be the case, couldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one, isn't it, as well, because none of us want Gunther to lose the belt. I would have thought it would have been Sheamus coming back, maybe. That's what I was looking for. He certainly has put the work in and certainly has the scars on the chest. And when you think, the problem you have as well is the way he dissected Dominic Mysterio. Like, he destroyed Dominic Mysterio. You know what I mean? And I know Sammy is somewhat slightly above Dominic Mysterio and stuff. That Dominic, of course, has been unbelievable the last year or whatever it is. But I think I find it hard to get excited for this. I find it hard to get excited for it. Jordan had a great showing. He did indeed. LM Gaming, Sammy deserves it, but Chad is too over not to be in the match. Yeah, that's a good shout as well. But when you say LM Gaming deserves it, do you mean deserves the shot? Or do you think he deserves the title? Let me know your thoughts on that. They want Barcelona, does Barcelona, the easy out, the financially broke club. Last year, triple threat match between Gunther versus Sheamus and Drew was better than this one. Naturally, you have three powerhouses going in there, going at it. It was unbelievable. And even the match, remember the match at Clash of the Castle? Good Lord. Arsenal will definitely 100% be eliminated after Friday's draw. Well, they won't be eliminated after Friday's draw because they're not playing them for another 2 weeks or whatever it is. And it's two-legged as well. I don't think so. I think there's something about this Arsenal team. There's a resilience. These are moments. We've seen it at times when teams break out of the pack and you get unusual winners of the Champions League. And Arsenal are showing signs of that. You seen the Brentford game, you seen penalties. That would have been a cauldron last night under a lot of pressure there. God knows what would have happened if Porto had went through. So let's see what happened. Deserves to be on the card. Yeah, absolutely. 100% deserves to be on the Mania card. But I get the feeling if he wins the belt, I get the feeling the fans eventually will go in on it pretty quick. And then what happens is, what do? When things start to go a little bit sour in that area, they revert back to Sammy and Kevin Owens and they roll it back to that again, like their comfort blanket. And we've seen it a million times. So that's the only thing I would be concerned about on it. But we shall see how it shapes up. I still think there's lots of twists and turns on this road to WrestleMania anyway. Speaking of WrestleMania, we got an announcement. We got a 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. This is going to be sensational. Ladder matches at WrestleMania. It was, at times, it was a real shame when they broke the Money in the Bank off the card. But now that they have this ladder match in there, it's going to be pretty cool. Who do you think is going in there? Who's your picks to go in there against the Judgment Day? Well, no doubt Imperium will be in there, won't they? I would have thought they're definitely a shoe-in. We know that the Hardy Boys are getting out of town in terms of AEW. Could we see a roll back to WrestleMania 23? Can you imagine? Be absolutely crazy. Triple threat, I think Sheamus comes back. Yeah, jeez, imagine Sheamus in there. I do love multi-man Mania ladder matches. Yeah, absolutely. That one at 33 was crazy, wasn't it? It was absolutely crazy. Remember the pop that Hardy's got? That was mad. And just look at that picture there as well. Look how long that ramp is. And I was there for 24. Good Lord, that ramp is some distance. DIY have to be in there. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Great show, LM Gaming. Love DIY. Awesome Truth already have tag team titles won. Hey, so stop be going ruining it now by saying something like that. So they're in there as well. So what have we got? We've got Judgment Day in there. We've got Imperium in there. We've got Awesome Truth in there. We've got DIY in there. So what are we waiting on? 2 more teams. Who are the other 2 teams? Will LWO be in there? Latino World Order. The Dudley Boys, surprised like the Dudleys are. The Dudleys, and we're in ECW land. Yeah, the Dudley Boys. Great shout, Morris. Super shout. The Dudley Boys, yeah. Heyman getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Dudley Boys come back. Can you imagine the Dudley Boys? Imagine in Philadelphia, folks. The Dudley Boys come back and they win the belts in Philadelphia. Good Lord, Morris, that's a great shout. That's the shout of the night. Hats off to Morris, folks. Awesome. Great show. I think Enzo and Cass were winning before the Hardys came back. Stop. Like Hardys, I mean. Yeah, like the Hardys. Yeah, absolutely. Be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Pretty cool. Yeah, roll it back with the New Day as well, of course. Pretty deadly. Yeah, pretty deadly. Yeah, absolutely. In more ways than one, Aces. Yeah, in more ways than one. What did we make of the announcement? SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio, in the Cleveland Browns Stadium. What is your thinking on that? Some of this stuff is coming out today. They're rolling out some stuff there, some teasers for us and stuff like that. What is your thinking on SummerSlam as well? Cleveland, Ohio, the biggest party of the summer, rolls into Cleveland, Ohio. I was looking at a British strong style. Yeah, Catch Republic. Yeah. Catch Republic. Kenny's in with the Street Profits need to get in there. Yeah, that will be super cool. Super. It's going to be stacked, isn't it? So if we go with the Street Profits or Catch Republic and then the Dudleys, that's it. We're done. This is going to be class. Rock Wrestling in Saudi Arabia, May. I heard that. Potentially going to happen, all right. Shawnee Duffy, how are you, mate? Hope you are good. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the show. Thanks for jumping into the chat as well. Let us know, Shawnee, if you want to drop anything in there, you want to chat about that, it's all good. But let us know, folks. I was looking at this today. I was actually looking at it. Baz was in with me today, and we were looking at SummerSlam. Tickets at the moment available on Viagogo for about €119. Direct flights with Aer Lingus at the moment in the sale, about 640. And the hotel was working out probably for about 5 days because you wouldn't do a week in Ohio, in Cleveland. Working out at about 250 a person, including breakfast. Not bad. Not bad for a SummerSlam. And if it shapes up like this, if you were to get Rock and Cody and you were to get Drew and CM Punk, be worth every penny, wouldn't it? Be worth every single penny. Daz is in. Who's against Acers? It's going to be, the talk is it's going to be Roman Reigns. But I'm not too sure. It'd be interesting to see what way that goes, Acers. I have a feeling if Roman does end up dropping the belt to Cody and he finishes the story, I think he'll go off for a while. I don't think he'd be even back that quick. New WrestleMania title belt, 700 quid. I seen them, yeah, some nice tasty ones in there. But they're blowing the belt game is going to be crazy, isn't it, in terms of cost and also in terms, like, you could buy literally all of those belts if you wanted to put them into your collection. The parallels in this Drew and Punk feud, it could be like the summer of McIntyre. It could, and they could run it all the way till the next Mania LM, couldn't they? Shawnee, yeah, thanks for dropping in today. Good to see you. Glad you found the shop. And thanks for coming back in as well. Really appreciate it, you two boys. Good chatting with you today. Feel free to drop in anytime if you want to chat about wrestling and stuff like that. If there's anything you need, hit me up. Good to see you and your friend there today. Class to see it. Love talking to people about wrestling. Always a passion of mine. Now, we've had a lot of discussions on this podcast about Roman Reigns and his feud. Wrestling News put this up today, so put up the other day, so shout out to them as well for the graphic. Very, very interesting, isn't it, when you look at Bruno and you go down through Backlund and into Hogan and all the way to Roman Reigns. And you look at the difference. And we sometimes call out Hulk Hogan in relation to defending the title. In defending the title and stuff like that now, which is very, very interesting. But if you look at the defenses, look at Bruno up there, 681, Backlund 920, Hogan 468, and Roman Reigns 54. That's a heck of a drop off, isn't it? And we can see why, you know, where we were all very excited for a long time with the bloodline and what it was doing and, you know, where it was going and the stuff with the Usos and the stuff with the different matches that he had and the feud with Brock and now the feud with Jay and the feud he had with Sami Zayn and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting. But we always spoke about all the time about the defenses and stuff like that and how we felt about it. So when you look at this, when you look at this graphic, and we give, let's be honest here, most people, wrestling fans, give Hogan a lot of shit. Let's be clear about that. But when this all stops, let's suppose he drops the belt to Cody at Mania, and the kind of the shutter comes down on that reign. 54 defenses is way off the mark, isn't it? Way off the mark. And we talked about how we liked the way at times it was getting booked, that less was more, like the old days, the way we used to like it and stuff like that. But this is beyond less is more, isn't it? This is crazy. This is like what I don't know. What's it working out at? I'm not too sure. It's crazy. But you look at Hogan there, and this is the narrative that's been going around is he wants to beat Hogan's record and stuff like that. Well, you might beat it in the number of days, but look at the difference in defenses compared to Hogan even. And then when you go up into, obviously, Backlund there is nearly 2 times the amount, but he's 920. Bruno, say, what's Bruno at 2.5 times? Less than 2.5 times. 681 defenses. And this is when we talk about, this is when we talk about old school. It's when we talk about old school and stuff like that. Yeah, mad. But just wanted to get your thoughts on it. So, we get some in from the website and we get some in. Do you get them from the website? We do. We get some from the website and we get some from the US as well, Shawnee. Acers, Inter Milan 1-0 up. That's probably it then, is it? That 2-0 on aggregate then, isn't it? I think. No other way around it. He's a lazy bollocks. Yeah, absolutely. LM Gaming, the whole reason why he's held the belt for so long. Yeah, absolutely. And at times we've kind of liked the shithousery of it. And at times we've kind of been, you're pushing it a bit too much now, aren't you? Yeah. Morris, I always wonder about his health and has that a factor in wrestling less? See, the thing about it is, he's had an awful lot of matches, obviously, that have been kind of contrived, like tag matches or whatever it is, these different stipulated matches where the belt just hasn't been on the line. And maybe that has sheltered him a little bit because he hasn't had to do as much of the work that the boys were. The boys in the bloodline were the workhorses of the thing, and he was coming in just for the cream on the cake, if you like, you know what I mean? So that might hold water, Morris. But it'd be interesting to go back. I'd like to go back and see not only defenses, I'd like to go back and see matches because he certainly had more than 54 matches. Because he's had a number of matches now. Sure, didn't we say, did he go for nearly a year or close to it where the belt hasn't been on the line? So Aces is in, Atletico 1, Inter Milan 1. That's going to be a tasty toy, isn't it? That's going to get real tasty. But yeah, I just thought I'd put this graphic up. It's interesting when we go back and we like to go back and look at a bit of old school stuff at times and stuff like that as well, didn't we? Wanted to talk about this. Get your thoughts. Hogan featured on the A&E biography, of course, WWE legend, said they were talking about Randy Orton. And he said, Randy Orton is like the ultimate wrestler. He's perfect. His look, his size, his work, his timing, his interviews, everything is perfect. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Randy Orton, folks, how do you feel about Randy Orton? Do you agree? It's not often we're going to come out here and we're going to agree with the Hulkster. But do you agree with the Hulkster on this one? Is there anything else you could say about Randy Orton? Are you a Randy Orton fan? Are you not a Randy Orton fan? What do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts, of course. Morris, Cage Match will give you the list of matches. Yeah, I'll check it out. I want to have a look and see because I lay odds. He's probably over 100 matches in total, I'd say so, but just not defenses. Bad Blood episode on A&E is class. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to catch up on it. There's just so much wrestling content out there at the moment, isn't it? Right, let's talk about Mania. How is it shaping up? How do you feel about it? We had the ladder match announcement. Of course, we had Thunderbolt Patterson being announced into the Hall of Fame. I think we're going to get this one, aren't we? We're going to get the Usos, aren't we? We're going to get some tribal combat, aren't we? You would expect that to happen. Do you see CM Punk being involved in the World Heavyweight match? Could he be the guest referee? How would you feel about that? Oh, God. Kenny's in. Orton is the perfect superstar, and what's great about Randy is you always live on the edge with him. He can turn face or heel on the sixpence. Absolutely. Morris, Randy likes to in women's bags, allegedly. There's nothing allegedly about it. There is proof. It is documented. It is on camera. You cannot avoid that. But in the current climate, with everything that's been spoken about, it gets a pass, doesn't it? But yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely agree with Kenny there. Rikishi referee for Son versus Son. Really? Don't know whether that's going to work, is it? Probably might come out and get involved or something like that, but I don't see him refereeing. See, we don't want this Mania card now with some of the matches that are in there. Becky and Rhea. Obviously, we've got Roman and Cody, depending on the stipulation from the tag match. We've got Bayley and Io. We've got Seth and Drew, Gunther and Sammy. We don't want too much hokey stuff going in there. We got the ladder match. That's going to be very interesting. What's going to happen with the US match, folks? What are we expecting to happen there? Obviously, with the tag match getting a ladder match, I don't imagine the US belt's going to get its ladder match then. I'd imagine that is done. So what are we going to get? Are we going to get a straight up like a fatal four-way or something like that for the US belt? Some mixture of maybe Kevin Owens, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton or something like that. Or I seen talk today that Styles versus Knight might be a singles match. Doesn't feel like a Mania match. Just doesn't feel like it to me. But again, let me know your thoughts if it's any way different. John is in. Big up, John. Thanks for joining us. Hi, do you think Sheamus would leave WWE and go to AEW for a fresh start? Absolutely not. That would knock me off my seat if that happened. He is so tight with Triple H. You know, he has such a legacy in there in WWE. Um, he's not, overly stupid with his money. I'm sure he's pretty wealthy at this stage. He doesn't do stupid things with his money. So he doesn't necessarily have to go there for the bag to tarnish his legacy and stuff like that. He's 100% a Hall of Famer. Why would you damage that in any way and stuff like that? So I don't see it. I'd be surprised. I don't think he needs a fresh start. I think when he comes back off the injury, I think he can take up where he left off. He was absolutely flying at that stage before the injury. And not only that, if you look at Sheamus in the last maybe 2.5 years, he's been doing some of his best work. Some of his best work. He's been absolutely outstanding. The stuff with Gunther, the stuff with Drew, he's been absolutely exceptional. So I don't see it, John, but let me know your thoughts on what you think. Same chat, let John know, what do you think? Daz, Seth Punk is back 25th on Raw. Seth Punk. Okay, interesting. Owens versus Logan Paul versus Randy Orton. So then we've probably nothing then. What do we do with AJ Styles, or does he just get involved? Romy One Kenobi is in. Hi all. Sammy versus Gunther versus Gable. Book it. Yeah, we were just talking about it earlier. Mate, how do we feel it's going? How would you feel if it was just Sammy and Gunther? Because obviously Sammy and Gunther's up there, but we did do the slide earlier. It's actually here, and we spoke about it. Gable has to go in there somewhere, doesn't he? He's earned that shout at this stage, hasn't he? Well, I get my slide back for Mania. But let me know your thoughts. Bonkers, CM Punk the host. Do we get Jade and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors? We could do. Yeah, I mean, when you look at how many matches we have there as well, there's still a bit of space on the card, isn't there? Still to be filled. When you think about it, what have we got confirmed so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 matches confirmed so far for 2 nights. Obviously, we're going to get the Usos, and then we have to figure out Logan Paul. So that'll be what, 7, 8, 9 matches in total so far. That's what we're looking at. So you would imagine so something's going to go in there. Probably going to get some sort of a battle royal as well over something, I would imagine. Hello, Romy One Kenobi. There you go. And Morris, LA Knight has really cooled off. Yeah, we spoke about it, didn't we, Morris? Like, I think everyone has kind of cooled. Well, not everyone. I think since The Rock has come in, I think since Punk came back and that kind of thing, I think everything has just come down a notch. You know, Jey Uso, LA Knight, they've all kind of just, the focus has been elsewhere, and it's kind of being dropped a little bit from them. But still excited to see what happens there and who steps up. Hey, Daz. Morris, Sheamus lives a great life with WWE. He does live a great life with WWE. And look, he's, and he's cherished in there as well. He's cherished. Bonkers will post the card soon for tonight. Excellent stuff, Daz. Appreciate that. Looking forward to it. Gunther to retain IC at Mania, then Sheamus to come back and finally get the IC run. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be my thoughts on it. My thoughts on it is not Sami Zayn. That CM Punk, I mean, Niall. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Romy One Kenobi, Sammy versus Gunther, I'll be cool with it. How do you see it going? Do you see the title changing? Bonkers is brain. Sheamus severely underrated, way better than your man from Brain on Jordan. Bianca versus Tiffany, yeah, we gotta get Bianca in there somewhere. Now Bianca has to. What about do you see any change in the Rhea Becky match? Like we spoke about Gunther, Sammy, and Chad. Do you see any change in the Becky Rhea match? Could Liv go in there? Could Bianca go in there? Remember, Bianca's on a serious run at WrestleMania, so they can't really let her become an afterthought on a show of this size. She needs to have a prominent point in there. I think Bianca versus Tiffany would be cool as well. I wonder would the girls be concerned that Bianca versus Tiffany could have upstaged the women's matches, the title matches. Let me know what you think. John, hi, do you think Becky will beat Rhea? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that as well. I think the only way I see Rhea dropping the belt is maybe if it becomes a triple threat or something like that. But then again, then you're going back into kind of hokey kind of stuff maybe on the card and stuff like that, and is it a bit too much? Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. Now there you go. That's it. That will be one for the ages, won't it? That'll be one. That'll be interesting. Yeah, WrestleMania card looks quality so far. Yeah, it is shaping up nicely. It is shaping up nicely. Bonker 6 to 7 matches for each night, most probably. Yeah, they normally go with about what they normally go with about 6 or 7. Yeah, so not far off. So we're still then. If that's the case, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, say 9, including the US belt and the Usos. So we got 9 matches so far. So if we're going for 12, we've 3 still to go, potentially. I hope Jay and Jimmy's WrestleMania match is better than the Hardy Boys WrestleMania match. I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? It'll be interesting. I got a feeling though. I got a feeling this could go the way of. Could they book this Usos match the way of Hogan Rock at Mania 18? Could they go in there as enemies, and the brothers back together and the family back together, and maybe some sort of a slant there with Rikishi or something like that? I still say it at the moment. Main event Jey Uso at the moment doesn't feel main event Jey Uso to me. And Jimmy looks kind of out in the cold a little bit on his own. I think the sum of the Usos back together is much more powerful in there. Dare I say, here's a top. I don't know when the ladder match is. I'm not sure if the ladder match is going into night 1 and night 2. Could the Usos have a match on night 1, get back together? Could the Usos end up in the ladder match and win the tag belts? There you go. Let me have a think about that. Let me know what your thoughts. Watching AEW tonight, yeah. Probably catch some of it, yeah. I would say so. Sean was saying it's an hour early as well, so that's great and stuff like that, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see. Want to see how Okada goes and Mercedes Mone and all the rest of that stuff. And life after Sting and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Ellen Gaming, the LA Night Train was always bound to slow down. Yeah, I think when guys come in and they step up like that, it's going to happen, isn't it? Bonkers most. 6 to 7, yeah, most probably, yeah, absolutely. Do you think Sasha will debut at AEW tonight? Yeah, I think that's a shoe-in at this stage, isn't it? I think the telltale signs of the Sammy Guevara suspension and all, and what he had to say and all that kind of stuff, led us to believe that this is where it was going. I think if she doesn't, and I think she will, because I think Bonkers mentioned earlier that Naomi and Bailey are in town for it. So if Naomi and Bailey are in town, then she's definitely 100% nailed on. Mercedes Mona and AEW for Tony Khan, money and cocaine. There we go. Romy One Kenobi. Rhea's mammy gimmick makes me cringe. Really? Does it? You don't like it, do you? Very good. It is a bit weird. I always find it strange, when people buy when people wear t-shirts saying "Mammy's on top" and stuff like that, yeah, it's always a little bit weird for me. I'd make a tag team with Tama Tonga and Solo. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. What are they going to do? Where's Solo going to go, depending on how this whole bloodline thing goes? Solo's kind of been similar to what the boys were saying earlier with LA Knight and the train Sloan. I mean, that win over Cena has knocked him back so far, hasn't it? So he needs something in there. Yeah, I'd like to see him come out like like a nearly rollback. They could do nearly like a rollback. Remember the original Usos when they came out in the grass, the dress things and stuff like that, and all with the war paint on them and stuff like that. That could be pretty cool. And I tell you, I wouldn't be upset if the 4 boys feuded for a few months as well. That would be pretty cool. Darby versus Jay White tonight. That's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting to see, and keep an eye on what's going to happen now with Darby Allin post-Sting, isn't it? I know he's going off to do Everest and stuff like that and all, but very interesting to see what way his career now goes. Let's see if the bump is a real thing. Sasha Banks is going to fill arenas. Stop now. No need for that. Cena advertised, I presume you mean, for WrestleMania 40. Is he advertised for it, or has he just said he's made himself available? I haven't seen him advertised, but I've seen him saying he's available. That would be interesting. Solo was obviously going to go solo and all. Yeah, but that's going to... Morris, how do you feel about that? Rhea is a great wrestler, but all this mammy BS, I turned the volume down when the fans chant it, and she says it. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, get Armando Estrada in to manage Solo. Get him to come in and manage both boys. Even better. Yeah, he was class. Remember with Umaga? So good. The Samoan bulldozer. He was so good. So yeah, that's your mania card. How it's shaping up now. Down each week now. You haven't got long to go now. What have we got? About 3 weeks, maybe a little bit less, close 3 weeks. So it's going to start unfolding fairly quick. Look at the Hall of Fame. No less than 10 days ago, we had no one for it, and now we already have 5 or 6, I think it is. Get Tony Atlas to manage Solo. Good show. Henry's in. Big up, Henry. What's the crack, you fellow red? Absolutely. I'm all good, Henry. Hope things are going well with you, my friend. Hope it's all good. Right. Let's get into a bit of history, will we? Let's get into a bit of history. Let's talk pro wrestling history here and a few notable birthdays as well and stuff like that. Start off 1993 at a house show in London, England. Sting defeated Big Van Vader, to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And from what I gather, I think a week or two later, he dropped it back to him. In 1993, former WWF superstar Dino Bravo was brutally murdered in his Quebec home at the age of 44. Bravo was shot 17 times, allegedly due to issues with local organized crime families. The murder was never officially solved. I think it was featured on the Dark Side of the Ring as well, wasn't it? It was an interesting one, to say the least. 1996, Steve Austin debuted his new Stone Cold gimmick at the WWF Raw tapings from San Antonio, Texas, in a double countout draw with Savio Vega. A rematch between the two would take place at WrestleMania 12. A few weeks later, Mark Henry also made his first WWF appearance as he press slammed Jerry the King Lawler, 1996. Seems like yesterday, isn't it, when we get that Austin 316 stuff and all. Austin and 316 coming up shortly, folks. 3 days for 316. Don't forget that as well. Here we go. Acers. Where are we? Rhea is retaining against Becky. I think so as well. Umaga's son fighting Mr. Kennedy soon. His dad's last opponent. Interesting. What do you think is in store for Seth this week on Raw? They're going to start to build up, aren't they? They're going to have to build up. Drew is just sensational at the moment. I have a video out on my YouTube channel at midnight. I look forward to that, Henry. Let us know what it's on and drop a link in there, Henry. Drop a link in there for people to go to your channel. Big up, Henry. Vader was wasted in WWF. He was, yeah. Absolute beast. Luis Diaz, 100 million. Sell. I don't think there'll be too many Reds who would disagree with you, Aces. Yo, Daz from Henry. Right, let's get back into this history. 2004, WWE held their first Hall of Fame ceremony since 1996 at a Hilton Hotel in New York City, the night before WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania. The induction class included, listen to this class, this Hall of Fame, folks, 2004. Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura, Big John Studd, Don Morocco, Harley Race, Tito Santana, Superstar Billy Graham, the Junkyard Dog, Sergeant Slaughter, Greg Valentine, and Pete Rose. And Pete, of course, was the first ever celebrity induction. That's one hell of a Hall of Fame, isn't it? Bobby the Brain, Jesse Ventura, Big John Studd, Don Morocco, Harley Race, Tito Santana, Superstar Billy Graham, the Junkyard Dog, Sergeant Slaughter, Greg Valentine, and Pete Rose. What a Hall of Fame. Has there ever been a better Hall of Fame? Let me know, folks, what you think. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, drop it in there. Morris, what did you think of Becky and Seth's belt picks? Yeah, and I seen an image the other day as well, and some guy photoshopped in Cena as well from the Oscars. What did you make of Cena at the Oscars, folks? Rashford, 80 million. Dazzler will be absolutely delighted. Yeah, Dazzler driving. I think AEW will suffer post big business with Darby Allin going to Everest. I don't think they'll suffer. because it's probably good timing in terms of if the shutter's coming down on Sting with him and stuff like that. Maybe it's time that he went off. I'm not upset by that at all. I think he needs a bit of time off. I think he needs to think about what way he wants to approach this next phase of his career and stuff like that, because it's going to be a big decision in whatever way he goes, and it'll be career defining as well on the back of Sting leaving. So he needs to take time to make sure it's the right thing. So going off there and having to think about what he wants is not such a bad thing. Gives him time to reflect. That was a great year for the Hall of Fame. It was unbelievable, wasn't it, Romy One Kenobi? Ian, I wonder, does Eddie Mansfield think to this day wrestling being fake looks like Eddie? The past is set the punch in the ass. There you go. Acers. Big John Studd was absolutely shambolic. Okada versus Kenny. Match of the year, I presume, maybe. Darby, I like him, but he needs to cut back on the hardcore stuff a bit. He won't be able to walk by the time he's 40. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably what he needs to go off and just consider, Morris, Big Dick Johnson said Cena at the Oscars was the worst thing he's ever seen. Ironic, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Go check out Morris's page, folks, as well, his channel. Check it out. He's getting anyone and everyone on at the moment, especially in the build-up to Mania. So make sure you're going over there, supporting them, sharing it, all that kind of stuff. Get it out there and get it grown. Putting in a serious shift. Bonkers, Dave Meltzer, as right of now, they have sold 9,300 tickets for a 345 grand, 345 grand gate, I imagine, for tonight's show. Surely that's going to go up. Surely that's going to go up. Darby down, coffin drop off Mount Everest. Good Lord. Oh, can you imagine? Right, where are we? Sad one, this one. 2009. Andrew Test Martin, who was best known for his time in WWE as Test, passed away aged 33 in Tampa, Florida. If I remember rightly at that time, he was due over pretty soon for an AWR tour, I think, with Joe and the boys. But unfortunately passed away. So I was a big fan of Test. It's unbelievable, wasn't it? 2011, Sting retained the TNA World Heavyweight title against who? Jeff Hardy in the main event of TNA Victory Road from the Impact Zone in Orlando. Controversial to say the least, wasn't it? Pretty forgettable, wasn't it? Jeff in an awful state at that. Really, really bad. Unfortunately, sometimes not good. I hold responsible the people who sent them out. People who sent them out are the people that are responsible. That's not bad numbers for AEW. Yeah, you got Okada in there, and you got Mercedes Mone in there. Maybe Bischoff is right. Maybe it's not going to move the needle, as they say. Ian, damn fecker, exposing the business back in the day. Make you wonder. 2024. Hey, Eddie, I'm a forgiving fella. Jesus loves you, bud. Absolutely. Romy One Kenobi, Andrew Test, loved him in the early WWE days with Team Canada. Yeah, he was cool. And Test and Albert, what a team with Trish. Yeah, two powerhouses. Test was a big dude as well, wasn't he? He was a big dude. I watch that match with Hardy and Sting on YouTube every so often. Good Lord, Morris. Do you really? It's bad, isn't it? Real bad, isn't it? Who would you blame, Morris? I know, obviously, Jeff has to be responsible for himself as well, but that was crazy that he was even sent out. He was carried. Daz, Joe Wardlow tonight as well. Yeah, that's going to be sensational. Forward to that. Let's hit the jackpot date in Kelly. He did indeed. Yeah, and listen, hanging out with Trish ain't too shabby either now, is it? Not too shabby either. 2004 WrestleMania 20 XX was held in the iconic Madison Square Garden, New York. The pay-per-view was 4.5 hours long and had 20,000 fans in attendance in the arena, with 885,000 more watching on pay-per-view. What did you make of WrestleMania 20? That moment with Eddie and Benoit, and the 2 belts and the confetti was an unbelievable wrestling moment. It's a tough one now. It's a tough one to take at times. But that was such a moment, wasn't it? That was such a moment when the wrestling world stopped spinning for a moment, and it proved that you can actually reach up and get there and all that kind of thing. It also was sensational as well. If you remember the Rock and Sock connection, remember the Rock's promo and that, the chicken McNugget and all that kind of stuff with the with it was Rosie and the Hurricane, wasn't it? He was giving them socks, and it was an unbelievable promo, and Lillian checking out the people's package and all that kind of stuff. And then they went out and they had the match with Evolution. That was pretty cool as well. There was some interesting stuff in it and stuff like that. WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Garden, it's always iconic, isn't it? Where are we? Interesting to see what happens with Christian Cage and Edge respectively after tonight. Yeah, absolutely. What have you made of Edge's time in AEW, folks? LM, what have you made of it? What do you think? It's kind of flattered, isn't it, to deceive, really? Hasn't been that exciting at all. Sure hasn't. I think Christian is still excellent in what he does and stuff like that. And some of the interaction between them has been really, really good. But the wrestling is nothing to get too excited about, is it? Henry, I gotta go. Gotta set up a video for 10 p.m. 1.3k. Nice. I agree, Niall. They should have changed the match. Absolutely. Triple Threat was a great match. Yeah, it was. It was unbelievable, wasn't it? Hard at times to talk about, but it was unbelievable, wasn't it? Just to see that emotion, and even the emotion of Eddie getting him fired up in the locker room and everything and all, it was just such an unbelievable night. Hurricane, what's up with that? Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Will you check out the Hurricane? He's featured in the latest Dark Side. Interesting if you haven't seen it yet, folks. Mania 19 is still my favorite. Yeah, it was unbelievable. That whole run of 17, 18, 19 was incredible, wasn't it? Absolutely incredible. Back to back, and they knocked it out of the park. Goldberg versus Brock won was at WrestleMania 20. I was trying to avoid mentioning it. The biggest letdown, I would think, in pro wrestling history. That match. Both guys exiting the building. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And you know something? I felt for Austin in the middle of it as well, because it looked like Austin wanted to kick the shit out of both boys, to be honest. Terrible it was. 17, nothing beats it. There you go. Edge's time in AEW would have been better if he didn't have his last WWE run. Probably, yeah. Bonkers. Do we get MJF back tonight? I'm not too sure. Is he due back? I haven't seen anything coming through. Best WrestleMania match I watched was Taker versus Michael Streak versus career match. That was the second one, was it? Not the Heaven and Hell one. The first one was Heaven and Hell, wasn't it? It was Heaven and Hell. The second one was the Streak versus the career, wasn't it? I thought the first one was better, but I'm just biased because I was at it. That's my thoughts. MJF is all out. Wembley. That's when he's due to be back. Coordinators. Hurricane and Rock segment is class. It is class, isn't it? Unreal. Marcus Bagwell, the documentary is very interesting. Another emotional one. Wasn't overly emotional. I tell you, it didn't hit my emotion as much as Earthquake last week, to be honest. But certainly interesting and great to see how he's turned his life around and stuff like that. And also, yeah, definitely. Goldberg versus Brockmania 20 aged me 20 years. Did indeed, yeah. It was just trying to sit through it and all. It's just horrible. LM Gaming, very basic, but hasn't been bad, but has to move on though. Maybe open up some room for Garcia. Yeah. Second year. WrestleMania 25. Yeah. Second year for you, Romy One Kenobi. 25 for me and Acers. Is Earthquake in the Hall of Fame? It's a good question. I think he is. Isn't he? Really sure he went in. Or has he gone in yet? Or were they calling last week for him to go in? I don't remember. Mine is frazzled now when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Right. Where are we? 2019. Sean, this is for you or any of you OTT fans in the chat. 2019. OTT Scrapper Mania 5 was held in Dublin, Ireland. Pete Dunne and Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate beat the Kings of the North, Bonesaw, Damien Corvin and Duncan Disorderly in a 6-man OTT Tag Team Championship match. As a result of the win, Mustache Mountain, but not Dunne, became Tag Team Champions. In the main event, Jordan Devlin, on his birthday, beat Walter, aka Gunter, to become the new OTT World Champion. Two unbelievable matches from 2019. OTT Scrapper Mania 5. If you have a chance, check out OTT on demand and go back and look at those matches. Some unbelievable matches, and some of those matches from the Tivoli as well. Some of those ladder matches and stuff. Ryan Smile, Pete Dunne, Jigsaw, all these guys, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, all these guys. Go check them out. Unbelievable. Well worth having a look at that. Marcus Bagwell and Paul Heyman, WCW 1991 promo was mint. Yeah, absolutely. Don't believe Earthquake's in the Hall of Fame, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think he is, and I'm nearly sure you're right, Kenny. I think there was talk of it that it should happen and stuff like that. It will. There's no doubt it will. Bournemouth 3, Luton 3. What a match. What a great match to have on a night when I'm doing Pro Wrestling Weekly. Yeah, and I didn't think there'd be much to it. Joker Bray, Season 6, Episode 1, Dark Side of the Ring. Romeo and Kenobi. I like to see more Irish wrestlers in WWE. I tell you, we've done well, haven't we? We have done real well at this stage, to be honest. Be interesting to see, as the likes of Sheamus and all and Fergal, they're starting to get to a stage in their career and all, who's going to come through now. It's going to be very, very interesting. But yeah, we've batted way above ourselves in terms of our success on the international stage. 2000, one of the most acclaimed wrestling documentaries of all time, was released nationwide in cinemas in the USA. This is 2000, 24 years ago. Beyond the Mat. How did you feel about Beyond the Mat when you seen it? Did you want the curtain pulled back on some of those things and all? Were you happy to see it and all that kind of stuff? Or how did you feel about it? I think if you're a Foley fan, you probably felt a little bit better about it. Leia in NXT, I like her. Is that her name? Lyra, is it Lyra Valkyrie? Lyra Valkyrie. You're thinking about Aoife? Yeah, she's a great girl. Great girl. Known her for years. Lovely girl. Acers, live now on Sports Samus commentary. Jesus Christ. Beyond the Mat, I loved. He's gonna puke. Yeah, good Lord, he's gonna puke. Yeah, sadly, and he passed away recently, didn't he? He passed away last year, I think, Dross. Very, very sad. Right, what else have we got? 2002, WrestleMania 18 took place in front of 68,237 fans at the Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that was this week in 2002. Notable birthdays. Let's get on to notable birthdays. Make sure, folks, if you've got birthdays in there, let me know in advance and we'll include it. Just a bit of banter, Joe. Still love you, fella. Always banter. It's always banter. Starting off, we have Kenta, 1981. Kenta's birthday. Little Guido, 1972. Same year as myself. Great year. Mae Young, 1923. Matt Jackson, 1985. Shotzi Blackheart, 1992. Santino Marella, the Cobra, 1974. Brian Clark, of course, Adam Bomb, 1964, celebrates his birthday this week. He's been on the show. Go check out the old episode if you want to flick back through it there. It was a great interview with him. Love chatting to the guy as well. Super nice and stuff like that. 1996, Buddha Baby, MJF, 1996. And we rounded out with 1943, the man who invented Fuck Them Mondays, the Iron Sheik. That is your notable birthdays for this week. Romeo and Kenobi is in. Little Guido was built like a Happy Meal, but was a good wrestler. And in the FBI ECW version, yeah, that was so cool, wasn't it? Yeah, he's just like he always reminded me of one of those Funko Pops, didn't he? Like, because he had this wee little small body and stuff like that, and all, but just this huge head on it and stuff like that. It's my night one of Mania, Niall. My night one of Mania. Nice. It's your birthday, night one of Mania. As you'll have to remind me on that. We'll have to call it that week. The week of Mania when we're doing the show, remind me. you're getting a big birthday when you're a big supporter of the show. You're always rocking up here for the shows, and you're always sending me wrestling information. Das. So night one of Mania is your birthday. You never know. Might get something out in the post to you. That's fair play. He looked like Mini Me from Austin Powers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unreal. See Andrade might join the Judgment Day with the segment on Raw, hoping it doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't know how he'd fit in there. Don't know how he'd fit in there. It'd be kind of weird. He kind of brought him back, and I think they brought him back, and it was a kind of a Charlotte thing, and I'm not sure whether they know what to do with him. Monday Night War figures and Smiths, I've seen them in there, some nice ones. I do like, if you haven't seen it yet, that Rock one is pretty cool. The Rock one, yeah, the Scorpion King one, isn't it? It's pretty cool. Nunzio resembles Glenn Quagmire. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The same day I will, Niall. Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep an eye out for that dance anyway, yeah. But big up. Look, you look forward to that. Your birthday's night one of Mania. That's pretty cool. Damian Priest cashing in briefcase at WrestleMania. Yeah, I seen something went up there today. The clock is ticking, time is running out and stuff like that and all, so it has to be due a cash in soon. Paul Burchill is still in good shape. Seeing him in NWA, his talent was wasted. Yeah, they did the pirate gimmick with him, didn't they, Romy One Kenobi? And then he ended up getting out of town. His sister's a very good wrestler as well, isn't she, Katie Lee? And she was really good to him. She went in there at the time as well, and then I think they both left. Weren't they pushing at the time? And now hindsight is a great thing, isn't it? I think at the time they were pushing for some sort of an incest storyline, if I can remember, that they wanted the two of them in some sort of a loved up thing. Sick minds back then. Sick minds, I have to say. Anyway, folks, it's been a great show. An hour and 11 we've gone. Then Disney tried to sue. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Acers. Imagine if Damian Priest pins Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. Those Philly fans, they will riot. They will riot if that story doesn't happen. If they don't get what they want, they will riot. They will crash bang the show. There's no doubt about it. No bigger, more passionate fans, sports fans in the world than that group in Philly. ECW in town, baby. It's going to be fairly serious. WWE, strap yourself in. You may not want what comes out of this if you don't give them what they want. As Batista said, you're going to give me what I want. Seeing that clip there the other day, it was pretty cool. Romy One Kenobi, I think Priest will cash in on Seth match. Interesting. I hope he doesn't cash in on Drew, though. I want Drew to. I don't think he will he? We can't have Drew winning that match and then Priest cashes in. That'd be terrible. That'd be such a kicker for Drew, wouldn't it? Like, how mad if that happens. I want Drew to win the belt and get his Mania moment in front of all those fans. Don't want any of this messing. Save for Priest and cash in on Raw or something like that. Don't do it on the night. That'd be terrible. Anyway, folks, a pleasure as always. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for joining us. All you people that are new in there as well, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're smashing up the likes. Really, really important. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification button. We will be back again next week with Pro Wrestling Weekly. All the latest news on the road to Philly. It's getting real close now. Also, don't forget, tomorrow I'll be uploading. Check out my review. Dark Side of the Ring, Buff Bagwell. I'm Buff and I'm the stuff. Don't forget that. Until next time, folks, have a safe week. Enjoy the football, enjoy the wrestling. It's all coming for us. Sports all the time. Hope you're enjoying Cheltenham. Make sure you're backing the winners, but always gamble responsibly. And we will talk to you again real soon. Cheers.